A reading of The Sims, the story so far, following the character Anthony YouTube in the third perspective, otherwise known as third person. The story so far, ... After not playing The Sims in 10 years, I decided I'd have to go create the classiest, most dedicated, good-looking sim of all time, Anthony YouTube. Anthony had inspirations, dreams, goals. He wanted to be an international spy, rule the world if you will, the whole 9 yards. But that all came crashing down when he met Molly. You see, Molly was a lady, and not your ordinary lady. She was a pastry chef, capable of baking the sweetness into your heart. I loved her. We danced, we flirted, and we even woohooed at times. Life was great. She moved into my house and we began to go steady. It was at the time that I felt Molly wasn't really appreciating me for who I was, so I began to seek love from other people. It was a dark time in my life, but I feel like it helped me discover who I was, whether it be the maid, the firefighter, the repair technicians, hell, even the pizza delivery girl. Those cannolis got cold, but my relationship got hot. Molly eventually found out after she gave me some truth sermon, and well, I tried to get rid of her. Failing to do so, I told her to get out of my life. I cast her away, hoping to never see her again. At this point in my life, I was sad, depressed, and I was looking for companionship. I quit my job as a cop because, let's face it, I couldn't handle it. I decided to hit the gym and work on my athletic career. Shortly after, I became a key member of the Sims soccer team, the Jackasses, and let me tell you, there's no jackassery going on in that locker room. They were men, and I was a man with them. I was a man with them. After much success, I was soon getting much love and attention from all the ladies, Kate Pistachio being one of them. Kate was my maid at the time. She was a lovely gal who, let's say, cleaned more than my house. Winky face. I began the courting procedure, and soon after, we were like two peas in a pod, buying our first house together, starting a band, skinny dipping, the whole shebang. We even performed coitus once or twice, but you know, I don't kiss or tell. She was the gal for me. At this point in my life, I was starting to get a bit old. Well, actually, I didn't age at all. I didn't know how to age. I just kind of skipped my birthday a couple times. But I felt the world experience that was being bestowed upon me was more than enough for me to know the answer to the next question. Should I propose? And well, I did. Our wedding was great. Our honeymoon, well, didn't really exist because I couldn't figure it out. And the night after the wedding, we took the skim boat to Tuna Town. The only problem was I wasn't expecting a little baby fish to come out of that trip. Let's face it, my boys are quite the go-getters. Shortly after our wedding, we were bestowed with a little boy, Kenji. He was a little mentally challenged at first, but, well, all children are. I finally had a family, the YouTube family, and I love them. And I hope everyone around me loved them. That's when things started to get a little shaky in our relationship. You see, Kate had quit her day job of being a maid to spend more time at home with Kenji, raise him, instill good values and beliefs. But since bills were high and raising a child is expensive, she had to pick up a new job quite quickly. You know, one with more flexible hours. So she became a private investigator. A legalized snooper and tattletale, if you will. She would trespass on people's property and pick up clues that would lead to their demise. A truly despicable job if you ask me, but if it pays the bills, I really couldn't gripe. From here on out, our relationship foundation began to rot away. The very core of what we once loved began to crack. She had questionable morals, often stealing things during her job, a real klepto, if you will. It wasn't until she was approached by none other than Molly French that my world came crashing down upon me. Molly had asked Kate out from some meaningless and some ridiculous case of hers. Turns out it was merely a ploy to get Kate to come closer into her life. You must understand, Molly's a bisexual, and she was fixated on having a relationship with Kate, attempting to ruin my life since I tried to kill hers months earlier. Molly's plan worked. Kate fell for it. She began to feel more love for her newfound partner than she had towards me, her husband. She began to descend down to chaos that would ultimately destroy our family from the very core. I could not allow this. I began to get very hostile towards Kate, asking her, "Hey, where are you going? What are you doing? And how come you're not helping me raise our child, Kenji?" who was at that time slightly retarded, and often cars drive by really loudly. She told me work had her busy. That floozy was not working, she was getting some on the side, and if you know what that means, well, you know what? Don't Google it because it's disgusting. She even had the gall to invite Molly over for a bring your boss home to dinner night. I was infuriated, and if that wasn't enough, apparently the two of them got wasted and fondling each other in bed that night. Enough was enough. I told Kate I would no longer be her partner in this marriage. I told her that she couldn't drag my feelings through mud and expect me to still keep clean morals. I tried to have sex with everything that moved from that point on. If Kate didn't care about my feelings, well then I wasn't going to care about hers. That didn't even faze her. She was okay with this idea. I even hinted at that we should double date, menage a trois if you will, at some point in the future. The nerve of her! I knew what she had done. I can't even speak, I'm sorry, it's so rough. I knew what had to be done to truly get back at Kate. I had to kill her lover, Molly. This would be the only way for her to feel the pain that she caused me. And so I did. There was blood on my hands, but at that point it was more than just a crime of passion. It was a crime of trying to salvage my family. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, Kenji has been bear witness to all this dysfunction so far. He's grown up in a cruel family environment and hasn't learned any social skills or how to help others. In fact, he was almost a victim of a pedophile attack that struck him in the very heart. I later took care of that sane person, Dustin Landkirk, but Kenji was no longer sane, and as his father, I knew this. Kenji's mental deterioration was just progressing at a rapid rate. He began to court a lovely girl by the name of Crystal, even promised to marry her at one point just to get in bed with her. After his little train released the steam, he called it quits with her. He essentially used her as a ragdoll and impregnated his once former lover, just because he wanted to. Kenji grew even more and more unstable, growing farther and farther apart from his family, attempting to destroy the relationship he had with me and his mother. Oh, she's a slut, so it doesn't even matter, but mainly with me. I even had a dream that his bastard son's ex-girlfriend by the name of Dexter, came back to kill our family for never being there. I can't help but blame Kenji's behavior as a young adult on me, and this is something I'll take to my grave. My life at this point was going nowhere. I thought about working out with Kate since Molly was no longer in the picture and it just wasn't going to work out. Kate was old news, both emotionally and physically, and I told her to scram, to get out of there. She moved to Slut Manor where all horrible people live, and really I haven't had any contact with her since. Aside for the occasional ding-dong ditch and taking a shit on her porch. At this time again, I realized I need to get my life in order. Sunrise Valley had quickly become Sunset Valley for me. There was no hope, no ambition, no dreams. I even tried to have sex with a vampire, but that wouldn't even cut it. I decided to move to a new blossoming town I heard about on the radio, Moonlight Valley. It seemed eerie, but I was willing to give it a chance. But I knew if I was going to make this move, I couldn't bring along Kenji. He was just too mentally unstable. So I bought him a new house, and I said my goodbyes to my only son. I said my goodbyes to the town that I once loved, where I grew up. I knew I was going to miss him, but it had to be done. And that's my story so far. I hope I made the right decisions, and if I haven't, well, only God can help me. Mother of Pearl. Thank you for reading and listening to the story of Anthony YouTube from The Sims so far. It's been one hell of a ride. To see part 125, please click below. I'm Chill Chaos. Have a great day.